Welcome to Setting Free the Lament, a conversation with Reverend Brenda Smith, the ELCA Program Director of Faith Practices and Book of Faith. I'm Reverend Robin McCullough Beatty. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Now, you and I have worked together over the years on a variety of projects.
Yes.
But please, these are tough times that we're living in. As a pastor, how is it that you define lament, especially the lament of these times?
The definition for lament is the passionate expression of grief. And so for me, lament is the physical and emotional pain that you're feeling when you're going through a very trying time in your life.
And we know that it's not just one specific lament, it's lament built on lament upon lament, grief upon grief. All of that gets triggered.
Yes, exactly.
As a nurse, I know you feel deeply about what's going on with COVID-19. What are some of your thoughts and feelings as you listen to the stories on the news?
Those of us who go into nursing because we want to be there to help people to heal, but also to give them the emotional support that they need at the time of a health challenge. And I'm hearing from nurses that I know that it's very difficult to do the optimum care that they want to give because those with the virus take so much care, so they're not able to often give the care that they would like to give. But also what's painful is you want to be there with the families and the patient at the time that the patient may be making the transition from life to death. And you want the family members to be able to be there. And in these times, because of the restrictions related to the pandemic, family members are not able to be there. So it's very difficult, I would imagine, to have a situation where you have people that are dying and their family members are not able to be there to give their last expressions of love.
The loss of a loved one is so devastating, and in these circumstances, it just compounds it as well.
Exactly.
Now, as an African American woman, you are living in times in which we are dealing again with this, the racism, the racial injustice of our times. What is the lament for you?
The lament for me is I'm not naive enough to think that that there isn't racism still in the world. But what hit me about the George Floyd killing was the inhumanity of what happened to him, and to think that someone could be killed in that manner was just devastating to me. And it also brought up for me situations in the past that I have been treated unfairly or in a mean manner because of the color of my skin. And so that to think that you continue to live your life knowing that people are not going to treat you the same because your color is different is very painful.
I hear the pain in your voice, and if we had longer, I'm sure you could tell many stories that you've experienced and also loved one.
Yes.
And to know that each of us, we're both brought up in the church. We were both taught that we are made in God's image. And yet, when the church, when people of faith don't treat each other as someone made in God's image, it's not about the color of our skin. It's already that we have a shared humanity, that
Exactly.
we are children of God.
Exactly.
It does comfort me to remember that when Jesus was on the cross, he cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" From Psalm 22.
Mm-hmm.
It comforts me to know that even Jesus, in his hour of need, had questions, experienced the pain,
Mm-hmm.
and that in the midst of the lament, we can cry out to God, that we will not intimidate God with our cries and with our yelling and our ranting, and to know that God is with us in the pain, in the lament.
Exactly.
How have you connected the lament and trust and hope together?
Um, when I'm going through something very painful, I have found that it is in those times that I feel God's presence with me the most. The death of my parents, situations where I've had health challenges, and I was just praying for some, things to be better, or for um, treatments to happen for me. It was in those times of pain that I just felt God allowing me to know that God was present there for me and will give me the strength to get through whatever challenge I had to face.
It's so important to name the lament, to acknowledge the sorrow, the grief that we're experiencing. I know we're all taught to be tough, and to get on with it. But these are extraordinary times, and it just triggers all kinds of layers and levels of lament. For you personally, how has it been for others, to walk with you as you've named lament? What is the role of others for you?
Friends and family have reached out to me to just, check on me to see how I'm doing. Colleagues have done that. So that has just been a blessing to know that I'm loved in that way, that people care enough to reach out to see how I'm doing. But also, I have found hope in the protesting that's happened around racial justice. The diversity of the crowds, the number of people has just been amazing to me. And so I'm hoping that this can go from just a moment in time to a movement, so that, as we say in our baptism, as one of the promises, strive for justice and peace, that we will continue to strive for justice as God calls us to do.
When we think about resiliency, we think about the role of others, we think the importance of hope. But the third piece of that is meaning. Where do you find meaning in your life?
I'm blessed to have a spiritual renewal team that I coordinate, and we've been doing some prayer ministry with individuals and synods, just going and just talking to them and praying with them. So that has truly given me meaning during this time. But also, having you to create these resources is very meaningful, because my prayer is that these resources will help people to get through these times, to reflect on their faith, and to remember that God is with them always.
Indeed, God is with us always, even in the time of lament. Again, I'm with Reverend Brenda Smith. I'm Reverend Robin McCullough Beatty. And the resource that we're talking about is this Setting Free Our Lament. There's worksheets that you can get free on the ELCA website. If you want more information about other programs that Reverend Brenda Smith works with, she can be reached at this email. And that includes the discipleship coaching as well. We just urge each person, each of us, to take seriously the times that we live in, the lament that is all around us, and to pause and allow the grace of God to care for us and to sustain us. Blessings to you.
Thank you.